What's up, friends? This is Jazz, finally bringing you another Pokemon Crimson Fury review after a long time, over a year I believe, and this one is on the chapter, The Queen's Court. Now, before I get into this review, there are a few things that I have to say. I apologize for not having these videos out. As the Endman64 mentioned, I'm going through a lot health-wise, both mental health and minor physical health. Again, as I said, nothing life-threatening or even life-habilitating like that. Well, it is habilitating to me, in a way, but nothing that you would consider being life, altering. Well, they say allergies, my IBS, which is triggered a lot by stress, mental health issues and food. So I don't often know how I'm going to feel day by day. That is what is uncertain. And my mental health has also affected me burnout-wise, which means, just like with my IBS, I can never know how I'm going to feel day-to-day, energy-wise as well. But I am starting to work on a routine, a plan, that Thursdays are going to be main YouTube days no matter what, and any other day, if I have free time and I feel the energy for it, I may go into it. But I'm dedicating a day that I have to do at least something for YouTube. So this is how it's going that way. So you will definitely be getting, hopefully, more Crimson Fury reviews, within, maybe not, you may get one more after this year, because it's already in December, but you'll be getting a lot more next year. I guarantee you on that. On that note, I do gotta plea something to you guys watching this who likes this series. Please leave the Endmans, I'm not saying you might, in friendly reminders or friendly questions, okay, but please leave the Endman64 alone about this. He has no control over these videos whatsoever. He's only able to ask about him on your behalf. Please don't drown at him for something that I'm in charge of. If you have any qualms, comments on my videos, ask me, remind me. I do not want him having anything else, another thing to grieve over. Just letting you guys all know here in this video right now. From now on, come to me on it. I would like not to hear again from him that they've been growling to him about it. So anyway, this chapter pretty much is more of, what's the best word for it? Disposition, I think, or, talking. It feels kind of like you learn more about the roles of the Queen of Arcana and such. So, this is a review and a recap to a degree, but I'm going to try to kind of more review this time around, because there isn't as much big stuff that needs to be narrated. I mean, the chapter does take place after Ryan loses the battle to Lizzie and her Alolan Raticate, and they just head on their way to Alcrenberg, right, for the commencement of the arcade, the commencement ceremony for the contest, right? And on the way there, Lizzie kind of tries to explain, how everything goes on, right? Like Ryan doesn't see the importance in it at this point. He says, how can it be, he said, oh, Addie, you'll have it easy. It's easier than the gym challenge. Nope. Lizzie is surprisingly very informed on it. We'll just say, without spoiling anything, obviously I am way behind on the series, But based on the characterization of Lizzie, we'll say in later installments, this is, it's different rereading this. Seeing how serious, she is. But we'll just say she's explaining that, like, the role of the Queen of Arcana is just important as the champion in helping govern Arcana, right? And honestly, Ryan kind of gets a little bit humbled in that regard there. Like, that it takes, like, more than just looking pretty, right? Like, it takes choreography, poise, charity work, like the Queen of Arcana, like the Leech, well, the Queen of Arcana especially is kind of expected to be charitable, being able to help, the champion run the government, because in this case, there's no king, no royal, thing in charge at this point, not for years and generations, right? So obviously they need some type of government, some type of higher power, which is what the champion and the Queen of Arcana contest are in this government. So it isn't just, simply, looking beautiful or being, like, you need to have talent, you need to have heart and all that, right? And they also joke how Addie just doesn't seem, like, Addie just thinks she doesn't seem prepared, she's all muddy and such. But before I continue with that part of the story, I'm heading on to the only other part of the story that has really any merit. In this chapter, there's only really two storylines, in a way. Not storylines, but plot points. And Cameron and Leonard are waiting for Claude, who's the lawyer for, at this point, is lawyer for Cassius, right, which again is a big betrayal to the Kinston family, because they thought he was a friend of the family, he was a friend of their grandfather, right, Michael and Cameron's grandfather. So, but he's representing the villain in a way, and Cameron is so surprised she was chosen, but not, because she is pretty good with decorum, right? She's the more serious one, and Chris, for example, would never be able to handle it. He just doesn't take it seriously enough, and Michael obviously does not want to get involved, just trying to stay away from the case, so she's the one who has to try to, like, negotiate with Claude, because they said there's a deal proposition, for it. And Leonard is the one, like, working with them, right? And he said that, yes, it might seem like, might be tough, but this could be a good thing, depending on what is said. And Claude finally shows up, and pretty much lays on the table that they have information, right, that they're willing to trade for leniency. Like, for example, obviously, Cassius would still be charged with the illegal experiments he's been doing, but he would want to be sent to more of a rehabilitation area than being sent to Cleft Key Prison with all the serious thugs from the syndicate. Like, he doesn't want to be mess with them. Like, he's realizing that there's some serious danger and such. So Cameron is a bit hesitant to go over this. Like Leonard even points out, well, it depends, information being withheld isn't useful in a way, and Claude says, well, it depends, I find some withhold information very useful, and he said he still would rather kind of have an idea of what we're dealing with, for the information, and she's saying that things are falling apart, like there's some things that are very important to Eleazar for this purpose, and if he somehow doesn't have that information in those folders and whatever, he may not be able to continue his conquest. And after some deliberation, Cameron says, okay, but everything isn't written yet, it's just verbal. I mean, I suppose those words came from Leonard, but they both are in the same boat. It's only a verbal agreement at this point. Anyone can back out until it's written, but they do agree, verbally to that request, that if the information is useful and things work out, that Cassius will get a more lenient sentence and go to the, rehabilitation center so he can do legal experiments. He can work at peace as long as it's not breaking any of the laws, right? And if Cameron, when Claude leaves, Cameron is still a little doubtful of what she's done, but really, as Leonard said, she held herself really well, and this might end up working out for the best. And Cameron, obviously, they all hope that. Now back to the only other, again, plot. They continue their way to Outram City while, again, discussing everything. And then once they get there, again, as I said, Addison is like, I'm a mess. How, if this is a way to get disqualified, because she notices a bunch of girls in their gowns and everything, and Lizzie explains, well, at the commencement ceremonies, they want to try to stand out to get a better chance, right, to be in it, because there's a preliminary, I think, at another area. I don't know if it's Kingston Castle is what she mentioned, and if they're going to be picked from there to continue to Taiwan for that contest, so there's another step that Addison didn't realize. She says, well, but chances are even slimmer now. And after still being embarrassed by how she looks, Ryan is like, oh, well, you don't need all the clothes for you to look pretty. And oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Liz is like, did you just compliment her? Which, again, is another thing I'm surprised about with Lizzie, right? With how much her character's changed later in the series, that'll be brought up. Something I myself wouldn't have noticed, right? As a compliment, I might, maybe, but still, that she knew it was complimented, and both Addison and Ryan are embarrassed. But Holly shows up to spare Ryan from explaining himself and is horrified by how Addie looks. She's like, we need a spa day, which I would hate. As I said, I will just say, I would suck as a contestant in the Queen of Arcana's contest. Even Lizzie said she never enters, she doesn't like that. That's me. That is so me. I'd be more at Ryan in Matthew's path towards the Pokemon League. I would not want to be dressed up and try to look pretty. And, yeah, I put it myself down, but that's me. Gosh, look at me now. I am not contest worthy, right? But Holly drags Addison off, right? Ryan, even Ryan said to her, I'll defer to Holly on this one. Oh, she'll be happy after a spa day, right? And Lizzie is just kind of like, you just want to get to that gym, don't you? Somehow, recently, she says sternly, is that bad? Or is it the fact that Aaron is working with the commencement ceremony and she shouldn't be bothered? Maybe that's the only reason I could get why she would be saying that sternly, right? Because really, if you want to get to a gym battle, what's so wrong about that, right? But then they both noticed Chris there. Oh yeah, I should back up just a bit. Back. Another thing was mentioned, they were asking why Lizzie was there if she wasn't for the contest, and there's going to be an interview on a political TV show, her and the Elite Four, and when they want to know watch it, it's E4 business, it's Pokemon League business. She said, but Ryan's like, I know the champion. She said, so does your mother, and she's not allowed to know. Or so is your aunt, Erin. And she's the champion's mother. So it's something that is supposed to be, until it's released, the show, it can't be, revealed to anyone outside the Elite Four or the Champions area, right? So, back to what I was saying. Chris is there already, and Lizzie's like, why are you here before all of us? Right? And he's, just sightseeing, obviously flirting with the girls that are there, for the contest, right? Like, it's so funny, and it's also so cute how Ryan is so pleased to see his cousin. Like Chris is the cool cousin, right? The high fives, you know, the leap. But then again, that's a reason that Cameron is glad she was chose to talk with Claude over Chris, because he's a flirter, he's not serious, right? So, again, out of the Elite Four, he's the cool one, you know, the one everyone, I mean, I guess everyone looks up to Michael, obviously, too, but he's, like, the easygoing one. Everyone kind of wants the looker, again, of the Elite Four. Probably every, you know, girl would swoon over him. Younger girl, probably. Because I don't know, like, he has some flaws, too, obviously, that an older, more experienced to him, it would be like, yeah, no. But, well, that was pretty much this chapter, right, guys? It pretty much is, you know, exposition. That's it. See, again, this isn't a Jazz Umbre video without me finally remembering what I wanted to say and making a mistake earlier saying it. Exposition, I think, so it was, again, exposition filled about things, and the action wasn't as heavy, you know, to narrate. So, anyway, guys, if you finally enjoyed this being out, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, like what you see, please subscribe and help this channel a lot. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you know when new videos are coming out. And I'll see you guys in my next video.